program will take us through by a presentation by Melanie Berger, a front-end developer at Rangle. She's worked on React and React Native projects for e-commerce sites, to dashboards, medical devices. She's also taught at Bridge School, which is a not-for-profit organization that skills up women breaking into tech. Her talk today is aimed at the developers in the audience and the people who work with them. And she looks at why DesignOps matters for developers as well.
As I'm looking at these mockups, how similar are these components to ones that already exist in the application? The second thing I'm thinking is that there's one particular component of this mockup that if we change the design a bit, we'd get most of the functionality for free from something that's existing. The problem here is that if we change the mockups, but designs were signed off on. So the risk here is that I'm triggering a very late stage design change that will need to get reapproved. The second risk is that if I don't mention it or raise it, that the format the mocks are provided to me in is not suiting my needs, it may never get addressed. By that I mean there's some developments and constraints that designers and product owners might want to consider in their designs, and it'd be better to surface those earlier. There's also a chance that the component exists in the application when I simply don't find it, I'm not aware of it. In which case I'm rebuilding this component from scratch as a duplication of effort. As the application and team grows, matures, and changes over time, less of us hold in our heads a complete picture of the component landscape in the application. That really means is that we need to build over time a shared understanding of all the application assets. I don't mean to limit designers' creativity, but realistically there's development constraints and trade-offs, but also not uncommon points of friction between design and development. And those points of friction ultimately lead to design drift. It's at this point, in my opinion, the project is most at risk of becoming something that's not quite intended by designers. You might be wondering how you're going to protect the design. So getting input from developers early in the process is better. In this case, you can plan for and adjust for those needs. So we need to establish these collaboration rituals, how we work together, how we get work done, and how our work creates value. And we also need to create an environment that enables productive communication between designers and developers. DesignOps, it's really something that emerged to manage the complexity of design teams at scale. DesignOps, or the operational support of design, not only helps the whole team, but also developers. So DesignOps does matter for developers. In this case, specifically, the items I touched on were standardization in terms of agreeing on tooling and fallback plans, harmonization, to get everyone on the same page in terms of our component landscape, measurement, setting a definition of done to set the bar for design quality, and collaboration, so setting up design and developer touch points. In a cross-functional team, everyone who's involved in the end user experience should be part of the conversation. My preference in terms of collaboration is that designers are part of the Scrum team and involved in team ceremonies. Because for me, those ceremonies have created opportunities to find out what the designer is working on and follow up with them afterwards if I have questions or concerns. And those opportunities don't happen if the designer is working apart from the Scrum team. I think it's important to have intentional scheduled moments where developers give input and before design approval and stories get written. There's a couple of different approaches to that in my mind. Regular weekly touch points with designers, or technical groomings, which of the technical groomings of the preliminary mockups, which have been quite effective in my experience. I would encourage you though to invite developers to the conversation as well and find out where we struggle and where DesignOps can sort of intervene to improve development outcomes. And I think you'll be surprised by how much that can help your designs become a reality.
Our second speaker of tonight is Tanvi Pandey, and she's a human-centered designer who is currently working at KLM. She's passionate about problem solving, sustainability, and education. In her 7 years as a product and service designer, she has mastered the art of stepping in and out of the customer's shoes to create an apt product service system. Her talk today is about DesignOps culture, specifically in a large company environment.
We said, okay, what is our product? We are owning the design process. We have defined the problems, and we are going to make sure we have some solutions. So you could see us trying to find a window of research or a quick solution, or whether that's doing a quick sprint, Trying to really reach wherever we can go, wherever we see a crack, to be there. Working together involves having a structure, having some teams, and building that right. Having the right environment for design to thrive and to make sure you hire the right people. At this stage itself, we were able to see some resistances. What we did was like, okay, let's try and find out why people are resisting. What should we do to make it a bit better? So designers feeling more like design evangelists. Which stakeholder do I need? Which person is going to make it through? And competences. They have a lot of workload that increases, because if you're going to tell people what design can do, you're going to have a lot more work. So they are wondering, okay, how do I support this? It's just that to make it really effective, first thing is to really have your definition of the design disciplines really clear in your organization. Define the projects you can and cannot do as well. Cannot do is much more important than can do. Have a clear story, so make sure you have people constantly working on the strategic layer. Have a window to bring design value, and show them how the project can be right or wrong based on a change today. So they're not going to adopt this change immediately. You just show them that it could be better. It's nice to have some trainings, also understand the processes, so you know, have swap trainings, and working across departments. So getting out of our design silo, getting our processes, our tools right, getting our story right, making sure that we have a good growth pattern in our roles, and we have some design systems to create some structure. The resistances at this phase from designers themselves was that, you know, you become a talking book to design sprints, and that doesn't equal design. When you standardize something, it has to be repeated. And that means that you get out of the human element of choice, that I want to choose a process based on the problem and not because this company has already made these processes possible. Prioritization structures to be department-wide. How do I make sure that my designer spends time in making the standardization checks, making processes and tools, also delivering solutions? So how do I make sure that there's a dual focus at the same time? So at this stage, I think what designers can do to make it better is focus on integrating and evolving bite-sized design processes, understand that it's not going to happen all in once, and treat your colleagues like your customer. I think that is a big mindset change that needs to be thought of, because we are much more patient with our customers and less patient with our colleagues. We're trying to adopt a design process. Make sure you are able to have an overview of what design is doing. Involve yourself in the research, step into the customer's shoes, and it's never enough. Making design accountable, data accountable for what we are doing, what project we are choosing. Also making sure that people are, you know, seeing what's happening in the background, understanding the value and role of design. So in the customer experience, we have data analysts and designers working together, but other teams as well, making sure that there's a lot more importance given to measurement, B-testing, the feedback. Training sessions have tools and structures in place based on interdepartmental projects, or we are giving trainings to other departments, or other departments are giving us trainings on different processes. So there's like a learning environment. Make sure that we don't work with silos. I think sometimes designers are working in silos. Where is the change? What has exactly happened? So I think for designers, I would like to say that, you know, have a clear distinction between the tools you use as a design method and the proficiency you have. I don't think it's yet reached that level of ignorance, as you will need designers always. Have a culture of sharing. The adoption process is really, really complex and hard, because you're telling people to change the way of working and work differently. Maybe resist from using one pillar at a time. So use simultaneously apply all these three pillars. This is important is because you need to make sure that everyone's T-shaped function covers everything simultaneously. It really helps.
Our final speaker of the evening is William Correa. William is the Director of Technology for Rangle in EMEA. His background in software engineering supports his passion for leading teams to solve problems using technology, design, and strategy. His contributions to more than 300 projects over the past 2 decades helped organizations to innovate and improve lives worldwide. His talk today is about elevating design to business strategy.
41% of companies only focus on user interface design. They are big time late for DesignOps. Design is so simple, and that's why it's so complicated. But how can we keep up with the speed and quality, but at the same time innovate? What are the challenges for design? Is the handoff friction between strategy, marketing, design, and development teams. The quality of data at the expense of customer experience. The third challenge, the decision-making is a bottleneck. Often this situation is created when a project has multiple stakeholders. The fourth challenge, inconsistent and misaligned experience across channels. The impact of design. Strong design outperforms competitors by as much as 2-1. 5% of companies understand that design means business. 2/3 of the companies have design to every step of the product decision making. 66% of the companies have design well integrated in the product development process. 53% have design leaders as peers of product managers and engineer leads. 52% have joint work sessions with key partners. 49% have their executives personally involved in the design process. 48% have their employees participating in user custom research. But how can I scale design in my organization? If orchestration optimization of people, process, and craft is what define DesignOps, then DesignOps is the answer. The path for you to start is a design system. It's a tool that will help you to address all the challenges and the friction, data quality, decision-making process, UX consistency, and customer outcomes. It is scalable. The modular architecture concept can accommodate new products, brands, and regions. Components can be tested, and the data generated from these tests will support better decisions. A design system is efficient. It helps to divide the workflow, keeping a single source of truth and reducing the communication noise. It's also consistent, providing to customers the same experience across different channels. Design system is a powerful tool to enable fast changes. It gives the organization a chance to adapt faster in a very competitive market. To help with the implementation of a design system, Rangle created Radius. Radius is a design system accelerator to help you start working on your product instead of worrying about the design system to support it. Radius help you to reduce the decision fatigue. It's a collection of open source tools and libraries. Radius removes the guesswork, reducing the risk and reducing the effort to get started building your design system. We kept it open so you can replace any component or part of the stack and also create new things to extend it. It's free and open source based. We saw how much design can impact in business, especially revenue.
Thank you very much, and